Careblazers, scientists just recently dropped a huge study in Nature Medicine, and the results are terrifying. Here are just a few of the new dementia statistics that this study revealed. 42% of Americans over the age of 55 will develop dementia. That risk doubles every year after the age 65. By the time people reach 85 years old, 1 in 3 adults will have dementia. This is way higher than previously thought, but it gets even more intense. Dementia doesn't impact everybody in the same way, and certain groups of people have a higher risk. This study found that women in particular are at higher risk, with nearly half of all women eventually developing dementia, 48%. The study also found that Black adults are at the highest risk for developing dementia, with about 60% risk. And we already know this, but this study confirmed those with the APOE4 gene are at higher risk, with those carrying 1 copy of the gene having 3 times higher risk, and those who carry 2 copies of the gene having up to 12 times higher risk. Put bluntly, this means that for millions of people, dementia isn't just a possibility, it's looking like a likelihood. Hang with me here, I have some hope at the end, but this really is a big wake-up call, not only about the people developing dementia, but about you, us, Careblazers. Right now, about 500,000 new cases of dementia are diagnosed in the United States every year. But by 2060, that number is expected to double, with 1 million new cases of dementia diagnosed every year. So think about that. In just a few decades, the number of people with dementia will double. That means the number of people impacted by dementia, the family members, the caregivers, that's going to double. Twice as many families caring and trying to navigate dementia care. Twice the stress, twice the need for caregiving support. Caregiving is already hard. Trying to find support systems and help is already hard. What happens when that need doubles? Wait times for appointments, wait times to get an assessment, wait times to see a provider. All of that is already long. What happens when the need doubles? Not to mention, this video isn't about that. Maybe I'll do a future one. The amount of healthcare providers going into the field of geriatrics is declining drastically. The bad news is we can't change our age, our family history, our genes. But the good news is that there are things we can do to lower our risk of dementia and hopefully prevent getting dementia in the first place. I recorded a video on this 2 weeks ago here on the channel where we talked about 14 modifiable risk factors. That's something to go back and watch if you are really wanting to do whatever you can to keep your brain healthy. We're not going to be able to prevent all dementias from happening, at least not right now, but we can do a lot to try to lower our own risk. There are people out there saying that we need to be approaching caregiving like a crisis, and I have to agree with them. I feel like we are already at a crisis with how hard it is for family members to get the support and information they need. I just can't imagine what that's going to look like when all the challenges and problems of the way things are going to double. I'm really hoping that new things happen, new breakthroughs, new creative, genius ways of providing support quicker, faster, more helpful come about so that we can really try to get ahead of it. I really hope that our politicians, people of power, really start to put dementia caregiving and dementia treatment, dementia research at the forefront. I think that's going to be necessary because right now millions of caregivers are already stretched thin. Financial stress, an overwhelmed healthcare system, it's hard. I'm reporting the statistics of this research article, but I'm really hoping this is a call to action for anybody in power, for anybody who has the ability to make a difference, to really start to make a change. We need better resources, stronger support, and more powerful policies in place to help people like you and the loved one you're caring for. Here's a question. What is one thing, just one thing, if you had to narrow it down, that would make caregiving much easier for you? Leave it in a comment below. I want to read them. If you're not already signed up for our free Dementia Dose weekly newsletter, I recommend you do that. That's where we put inspiration, tips, support, resources, any exciting things we hear on the dementia front. We share them with everybody on that list. You can go to careblazers.com/dementia dose. Careblazer, I'll also link the full article to this study about the future of the dementia caregiving crisis and the number of people getting dementia, if you're somebody who wants to dive into the numbers and look at all the data specifically. All right, Careblazers, stay strong. We'll get through this together, one way or the other. I'm sending you so much love. I'll be back as always next week with a new video. Bye.
Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.